Hey everybody, Psychosaurus is here, and today, well, we got the champion mode patch that I was talking about in my last video. And oh boy, it's a pretty big one. Oh boy, there's so much stuff, oh boy. But yeah, we got some patch notes here, so let's go through those first, then we'll check out the champion mode update. Oh boy, it's a pretty big one. So yeah, balance changes. Roman Engineer now deals zero point 0.1 times damage versus villagers and ox carts from 1.0 times. Yeah, I guess people were aggressive with engineers. I don't know about this. In PvE, I would prefer some other units since engineers just don't do enough damage. But I guess in PvP or champion mode in general, engineers can do some damage to villagers. Now they can't. Okay. Okay, Sparta PvP updates. We got Great Emperor Ashoka's Challenge mini event now live. We'll talk about that later. And we got some maps in rotation, so new maps, blah 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 blah. Okay, what else we got? Bug fixes. Fixed an issue where the active player number was assigned incorrectly on Vanity Island, resulting in visual glitches in the UI. If you haven't been recently to the Vanity Island, basically you went to the Vanity Island and you could see like some weird thing in the UI where you could like switch. It was like you were observing the players and you had like everyone, player 1, player 6. I don't know why the numbers are like that, don't ask me. But yeah, it was weird, okay? It was not the typical UI you would see while in any other city. So that one's got fixed. Quest updates. Event material turn-in quests have had their requirement and rewards adjusted to match the new stack size of the materials they require you to turn in. Yeah, during the events you could turn in the materials, get some additional event points. Before it was 100 and obviously it was with the old stack sizes. Now with the new stack sizes of having like 250 epic materials, this one needed to be adjusted. And I suppose the rewards got adjusted as well. Who knows? We'll see during the next event when these quests are available. Okay, champion mode changes. These are the big ones. Let's skip this. It's a lot of stuff we need to take a look at. Okay, other updates. Several duplicate items have been removed from the sturdy staves and slings store. These include Cedar's staff, sturdy azure staff, sling of stylos, and staff of the many. This is something I've reported because it felt weird that you have these items available at this store while they are already available at some other stores. So that's why they got removed. I get it that there's not many items at this store, but you still have these items at the other store. So I'm like, why is it available here? So that was my problem with it. I mean, I would be fine if these items got removed from the other stores as well and just stayed here. But it's fine. It's fine. Okay, if it's either here or there, so I'm fine with this. Just so we don't have like duplicates. It just feels weird to me. Okay, backend changes. Addressed a critical bug that caused a random number generator to break if two players bought chess at the same time. Don't ask me what this means, okay? Don't ask me. Just some break-in stuff, okay? Completed the groundwork to re-enable visiting players' capital cities. Stuff we talked about in the last video. So they got the groundwork complete, yeah. Completed the groundwork for starting civilizations at level 40. So same thing. And now let's talk about the champion mode. And oh boy, I'm gonna try to keep this short because there's a lot of stuff. If you wanna read this, I'll leave the links for the patch notes and this dev update or the champion overhaul in the description so you can check it out later. Okay, so what's huge here? The Great Emperor Ashoka's Challenge. So what's going on here? It's some kind of event or mini event. You know how you get the heroic Spartan hour or whatever it's called every few while, and you just get additional rewards from the Spartan. This is pretty much it. This one is just available 24 hours a day, and it just resets once the day is over. So every day you'll just get additional rewards. You'll get additional coins, additional experience. Is there anything else? I think that's all. So yeah, more coins, more experience. So if you want to play PvP right now, getting some extra rewards is easy right now. So you can easily level up faster to level 40. You can get some additional coins. I don't know why you would need it as a PvP player, okay, because champion mode PvP doesn't require anything, just a skill. But if you feel like you want it and you want to buy like items to just make your units look nice, like legendary gear, so your units have that black armor, yeah, coins are nice. So that's what's about the mini event. Okay, and one thing I'll be nice and say this. Very important note. We have a zero tolerance policy for match fixing and win trading on the Sparta PvP ladder. Doing so will result an immediate ban on your account. If you find people breaking these rules on the ladder, please report them to one of our moderators on Discord. Thank you for helping us keep the community a healthy and competitive place for everyone. We'll keep this. For further information, please refer to the rules section of the Sparta PvP user interface on the bottom left. Okay, so if you ask me, I kinda agree. I have to agree with this. It's supposed to be a ladder. It's supposed to be PvP ranked. So like making a fixed matches, it's just wrong. If you want to play PvP with your friend, that's what arena is for. So go to the goddamn arena and play with your friend there. Don't abuse the Sparta ladder like that. So yeah, if you find someone doing this, report them, please. I have to agree with this. I have to agree with this. Sparta is supposed to be competitive, the ranked games. So please, if you find someone doing this, report them. Because goddamn, this is not right, okay? Okay, what else we got? Champion Mode Overhaul highlights. And all I'm gonna say is this is about slowing the game quite a lot, and it's gonna make a huge difference in the PvP matches if you ask me. So let's start with villager or gather rates reduced. That's already huge when you ask me. Because goddamn, when you take a look at those numbers and you take a look at the PvE, you see it's really fast, especially once you include all the gear you can get, the discounts you can get on your buildings, and oh my god, all of a sudden, yeah, you have a really fast game. But even without the gear, and you compare Age of Empires Online to other Age of Empires games, Age of Empires Online is actually a very fast game compared to those. Much faster. And so, to try a new stuff here, the Project Celeste team has decided that they want to slow it down a little bit. So it's not that fast and it's somewhat more beginner friendly. Okay, so you know, you're new to the game is pretty fast once you know what you're supposed to do, but you want to start playing the PvP and you're just getting all those better players who've been playing for a while now, and they know what they're doing, and you can see like their speed and decisions are gonna like match with their experience. But when you're new, you're just looking around, and yeah, your early games are gonna be like hard. It's gonna be hard. So slowing down the game and like giving you time to like think about what you might do, what you wanna train, build, making those decisions. They give you enough time with this. So I kind of like it, but I also kind of don't like it because I like the faster paced games. So for me, like doing this in champion mode, I'm happy that it's only champion mode. and I'll be happy to see like more players trying PvP. Is it for me? Nah, I'm not going there, but I kind of like what they're doing. And obviously this is not the only change they're doing here. Another change. Fortress and town center cost and hit points increased. Ignore the hit points, it's the cost that matters. And oh boy, that's a huge cost increase on those town centers. I'm gonna tell you, if you have watched some PvP, you can tell that a lot of PvP players prefer to go for early second TC and just boom their economy as fast as possible, because goddamn, getting those villagers is really important. And like with the gather rates now reduced, every villager counts. Goddamn, you're gonna need a lot of villagers to have enough resources. And when the TC all of a sudden costs 50% more, and it's down there in the patch notes, you can check it out for yourself. Goddamn, that's gonna slow it down, and it's gonna be very risky play to actually commit to. Because if someone raids you and you lose your TC, like I'm gonna say 70% done, that hurts. That's a lot of resources you're gonna lose. A lot of work time spent on that TC from your villagers. You pretty much have focus on that, so you won't even have units to defend against. At that point, it might be like you're screwed. That's what I'm gonna say. So this is gonna be really hard, and in combination to this, I dare to say that the PvP matches in the early game are gonna be a lot about raiding. Raiding, and raiding, because getting every villager kill you can get is gonna hurt a lot, because every resource is gonna matter, since you're gonna be much more limited on those resources. And if someone decides to go for the fast second TC, oh boy, if you can interrupt that, that's a huge damage. That's a huge damage right there. So this already is telling me, hey, raiding is gonna be really strong here. And to like confirm a little bit my intuition, I would say this change also is pretty huge to go with the rating. Production and tech buildings, build time reduced. This is really important about the production building. Obviously, the sooner you build your production buildings, the sooner you can start training your units, and obviously the raiding can begin. So that's what I feel like is gonna happen. We're gonna see a lot of raiding PvP matches, but it's my way of thinking. I don't know what the other PvP players are gonna think, or the real PvP players are gonna think. This is what I feel like is gonna happen. And yeah, that if you're gonna become better at raiding or defending the raids, this is gonna become really important. Okay, and one more thing here: armory cost and build time increased. It's not by much, but it definitely is gonna hurt you a little bit, since you're gonna be very limited on resources. This is also kinda something that's gonna hurt you and slow you down, because obviously getting the armory techs is important if you wanna make sure your army is as strong as possible. So when you get the armory later, you don't have that many resources to actually get those upgrades. Yeah, it's gonna slow you down quite a bit. And it's gonna be expensive to get one armory. And I would say a lot of players like to build second armor so they can get those techs out faster. Now, I would say it's gonna be really expensive to get the second armory, that you'll be happy to get even one armory. It's not that the cost is that much greater, it's 50 additional wood. It's not that much, but also the build time goes from 50 to 60 seconds. Which is a lot, and when you're limited on the resources, remember, gather rates reduced, it's gonna be quite expensive. So getting that armory is gonna be still important, but you don't wanna really lose the armory. Okay, so you wanna make sure that the enemy doesn't take out the armory, because obviously if you lose the armory, it's gonna slow you down, significantly with your upgrades, and that's gonna hurt, okay? And again, this helps with the raiding. This gives another viable target to focus on. It's just gonna hurt. Okay, Archer Ball Strength. Bowman type units now more specialized against infantry and less effective versus non-infantry. So if you take a look at the patch notes, you'll see that many bowmen, so Toxotes, Babylonian bowman, Norse bowman, the Roman Cretan bowman, the Celtic bowman, yeah, all of these bowmen just have lower base damage, so they will be much worse against stuff like ranged units, cavalry, buildings, everything, okay? But much more effective against infantry. Although, through the numbers I've seen, some of them will be even less effective against infantry with all the base damage nerfs. Oh boy. Yeah, if you want to take a look at it yourself, take a calculator, calculate it, the before and after, and you'll see like Toxotes is actually gonna be much better against infantry. But I think which one was it? I feel like Cretan Bowman is gonna be slightly worse. So it depends which Bowman we're talking about here. But yeah, do I like this change? I'll be honest, I do, because guess what? I kinda hate to see that there's a lot of Bowman and there's like, what can you do against it? That's the question. Like you see like 40 Toxotai, few melee units to soak some damage, and the Toxotai just do so much damage. Yeah, I kinda hated seeing that in the PvP matches. So now when they are more specialized, I like that a lot more, to be honest. I like that a lot more, because now you can go with your own ranged units. Now you can go with your cavalry against the bowman, and it's gonna hurt, obviously. So I like this a lot. So maybe we'll see more melee units than just ranged units, or maybe not just bowmen, but something like Toxotes plus Peltast combo, like mixes of ranged units. I would love to see that more often than just pure bowman this early in the game. Okay, age up cost and research time. This is another thing that's gonna slow down the game. So Silver Age and Golden Age cost and research time increased. If you take a look at the numbers, the Silver Age in Champion mode was actually cheaper than in PvE, in your classic PvE. Instead of 400 of the free resources, it would cost 300 of each. So 300 food, 300 wood, 300 gold in Champion mode. Now the cost has actually been increased back to the 400 each. And the research time went up by 20 seconds. Obviously, specifically for Celts and Egyptians, changes are there as well. Although, for Egyptians, oh boy, who cares about those 20 seconds on Temple of Set when you can just add a few more villagers? Is it gonna slow it down? Yes, it's with the lower gather rate on your villagers, getting the additional 300 resources you need to reach the Silver Age. That's a significant time increase, okay? So those games will have to be much longer. If I had to guess, I would say it's gonna take almost 20 minutes to reach Silver Age. It's my guess, don't take me seriously, it's just what I feel like it's gonna happen. And reaching Golden Age, those are gonna be extra long games. Just goddamn, getting all those resources to reach Golden Age. Yes, the techs are there, but remember the base gather rates are reduced, so the overall gather rates are reduced. Getting there is gonna take a while. But I guess if you get enough caravans, oh boy, you might have more than enough gold, if you ask me. But getting there, damn, it's gonna take a while. Yeah, it's gonna be much slower. Palinterons versus non-buildings. So Palinteron bonus versus buildings increased significantly, damage versus non-buildings reduced. I took a look. Palintonons, more specialized. Oh boy, their base damage is almost 50% lower. And the multiplier goes from like 4 times to 7.5 times. So like 75% increase. It's a huge, okay? Palintonons against buildings. That's a lot of damage, but Palintonons versus normal units? If you're gonna use Palintonons in champion mode against normal units, I am gonna advise choose wisely what you're targeting with your Palintonons, okay? Because you don't want to really waste those shots on like cavalry units. You want to focus maybe some ranged units, maybe enemy siege, which makes sense since Palintonons do crush damage. And oh boy, obviously this affects also the throwers, stone throwers, log throwers. But damn, those I feel like stone and log throwers are much better units than Palintonons. Even though they might have shorter range than Palintonons, they goddamn are gonna hurt more than Palintonons. Ships versus land units. All ships now less effective versus land units. Friendly fire removed. If you don't know, your ships can actually hit themselves, and not only themselves, but also your buildings, your land units, depending how they hit it. I don't know if fire ships can hit your own units. I know arrow ships like triremes can actually hit your own units. That's what you can see a lot. I don't think I've ever seen fire ship hitting my own units, to be honest. I never saw that. But I can guarantee arrow ships do, so definitely this one is significant. And obviously, I don't think there's anyone who would love to lose their own units to their own units. Like, who wants that, right? But yeah, now less effective versus land units. What does it mean? If you take a look at the patch notes, basically the effectiveness of all the ships is the same. If you go into naval battles, it's gonna look literally the same. There is not gonna be much difference except of the siege boats. So ballista triremes, catapult triremes, mangonel galleys, stuff like that. Those will keep their damage, but will have their health reduced. All of the navy just have their health reduced, health damage, except siege boats don't have reduced damage. And by how much? It's all 50%. So when you think about it, the ships last 50% less time, but they also take twice as long to destroy enemy ship. So pretty much naval fights are still the same. There's not gonna be different. However, when you fight against land units with your ships, there's gonna be a huge difference. And yeah, siege boats are obviously gonna be still, they're actually passively improved against other ships. They just have less health anyway, but yeah, they're gonna hurt much more. Okay, and now quite a big one. Passive wonder bonuses. So in short, when you build a wonder, you will have passive bonus for, depends, like military units, buildings, or specific unit type, stuff like that, okay? Passive bonuses, and these are actually pretty huge bonuses. And all you need, build a wonder. Because of that, wonder costs more and it takes longer to build. So when you put it together, lowered gather rates takes longer to reach the golden age, and now the wonder is also more expensive. Getting to this point is gonna take quite a while, okay? However, if you can get these to this point and you actually manage to build the wonder, you will get a lot of bonuses that actually greatly improve your situation. I don't really want to say units, buildings, or stuff like that, because all these bonuses are quite different. So let's start. The Greek one. More damage for all military units. This is actually 20%. More range for all ranged and siege units. 20%. More fortress health. 30%. If you ask me, This actually greatly focuses on the Greeks as the balanced army civ, because you like go with all of your military units, but then it also focuses on the biggest strength, which is the ranged and siege units at the backline, while their melee units soak the damage. So like hoplites at the front line soaking a lot of damage, they do more damage. And now ranged units with the additional damage, additional range, and not only range but also siege. Yeah, those are quite strong bonuses for your ranged and siege. If Greeks reach this point, damn, that's gonna hurt. And those fortresses with extra health. It sure helps when you have even dedicated tech for your buildings that further improves health of your buildings. Like, oh boy, that's gonna be fortresses with a lot of health. So if you ask me, this is a really strong one. This is a really strong bonus. But getting here as Greeks might take a long time, okay? Egyptians. Additional population cap above 200. Wonder grants actually 20 population, so like 10% more population. Not bad, not bad. More movement speed, that's 30%. And health regen, 2.5. For all barracks units. If you ask me about this one, I feel like of all the wonder buffs or passive boosts, like I feel like this one is the weakest. But as an Egyptian, I feel like this is reaching this point is probably the easiest for you. So I kind of get it that it might be weaker compared to the others. But goddamn, additional population, that's pretty huge. Getting like 5 extra catapults or just more units in general is great for you. Whatever you decide to do with it, it's gonna be great. Movement speed for barracks units. I mean, you are at this point, so I'm not expecting that you would be training slingers, but I can expect something like axemen, maybe even spearmen, but I expect axemen the most. And then health regen on those units. When you have like bowmen with additional bonus against infantry. Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not completely sold on this one. Like, I feel like 2.5 health regen in champion mode, that's pretty good. The movement speed is definitely gonna be nice. But I don't know if it's like that great on just barracks units. I'm not really sold about this one. At least the population is there. That one at least does something. Okay, Tree of Life for the Celts. This one I would describe as getting the Augur right, all of them, but weaker. So, reduced training time for all military units. This is actually 15%, so pretty huge actually. And it's all military, so it doesn't matter. You go Carpenters, Horsemen, Champions, Wall Traders, Druids. Yeah, this is gonna be huge. 15% is just huge. Increased damage, I think this is 10%, so definitely it's a nice boost, but not as strong as for the Greeks. Movement speed, I think it's also 10%. So yeah, really good as well. And bonus versus buildings, I think this was... I don't remember, what was it, like 25%, something like that. For all military units. So getting all of this for all of your military units is pretty good. Like goddamn, you already have pretty fast units. Look at their infantry. Naturally faster than any other infantry. Carpenters, horsemen, their slingers are also faster. Oh boy, it's just the champions, but getting the additional movement speed on champions, oh boy, that's pretty huge. So yeah, definitely great buffs overall. And then if you can destroy enemy buildings, really good. Like combined damage, bonus versus buildings, really strong damage against buildings. I like this one. I like this one a lot. Plus you can also train your units faster. Naturally good, whatever you do. Persians. Additional movement speed for all military units, villagers, and caravans. This is, I think, was 25%, which is huge actually. It's even better than what Bahram Advisor does. Large passive gold trickle. 25 gold if I remember correctly. And oh boy, so additional movement speed for military units obviously is great. But it's just get in there and do the damage, which is definitely gonna be great against enemy ranged units if you're using your own cavalry against them. So definitely great. What I like is about this is that it's also for villagers and caravans, and namely the caravans. And obviously, if you know what caravans do, you know caravans kind of like movement speed. And with that higher movement speed, that means more gold for you. And guess what? Persian units are quite hungry for gold. They're immortals, cataphracts. Those units just eat your gold. And then you also get additional 25 gold per second. That means a lot of extra gold. Not only that, remember Persians also have those toggle tags at the War Academy. So when you turn them on, you can actually afford to train your units faster. So indirectly, this bonus just gives you also faster training time for your units, which is huge. How much are we talking about? I don't know if it's different for champion mode, but in PvE it's 30% for barracks, archery ranges, and stables, and 60% for immortal camps, fortresses, and siege workshop. Yeah, that's the one thing I was missing. But obviously with increased cost. If you can focus your villagers more on the food and wood resources, obviously you can pay the food and wood. And when your caravans are moving faster and you are getting passively gold as well, I mean, you can just afford it. And now you're also moving those units faster. Oh boy. So if you ask me, this one is also really strong. Okay, Romans. Additional damage for all siege units. When you think about Romans, they have a lot of siege units. Onagers, at this stage I would just go with Onagers, but you can obviously go with the Scorpios as well. But obviously, you can go with Rams and Palinthorns as well. Bonus damage versus buildings for all non-siege units. So, if you are training Legionaries, Ekkes, Gallic Horsemen, Officer units, all of them will do additional damage. And I didn't say how much. I think this one is 25%. So it's like getting champion catapults, but for all of your siege units. So a really strong bonus. This one is 50%, which obviously is a lot. And reduced population count for all officer units. So Crassus officer buff, and it's again just -1, so you can save some population there. Really strong, if you ask me. It's again really strong. My question is it that strong, like in comparison to something like what Greeks have or like Persians? I don't know. Like, I know Romans are a late game powerhouse, but with this, I don't know if this one just in comparison to the others gives you that amount of strength. I'm not really sure about that, but it's definitely strong as well. Okay, Babylonians. Additional train research time reduction for all buildings. Passive food and wood trickle. I think this is -15%. This one is +10 food and +10 wood. Additional build repair rate for all villagers, +50% if I remember. So yeah, this wonder works just like a garden. It's a big garden. -15%. That's huge. It's for all of your buildings. I mean, when you consider the Celtic upgrade, that's only military units. With this, you can research faster. Where, well, you're in Golden Age, so I don't know how much you can still research at that point. Maybe some Golden Age techs that you might have skipped, but as Babylonian, I don't know what you might have skipped. But yeah, definitely is gonna help. Obviously, if you lose villagers, you can replace them faster. And not only villagers, ox carts, your military units, you just replace them faster. Passive food and wood. Obviously, and I forgot to mention this one with Persians, when your villagers are gathering resources more slowly now, obviously getting some additional income is pretty huge. So definitely it's gonna be strong, and since it's two resources, two types of resources, that's pretty good actually. That's really good. And additional build repair rate. I mean, if you need fixing, it's definitely gonna help. If you need to rebuild something, it's gonna help. So yeah, definitely it's gonna help you with defense. I would say as Babylonian, this is actually also easier for you to reach since Babylonians are like another economic powerhouse in the game, and they like to spam their units a lot. And obviously they have access to gardens, so getting that passive food income from the gardens is also gonna be very important. And obviously they Project Celeste also nerfed the gardens, increased the cost increase once you per garden you build. So that one is gonna hurt as well. So definitely it's a great one, but obviously it's not gonna help you that much because Babylonians are not the late game save. They are rather mid game where they can like spam their units and where they will just have a lot of units and just try to destroy you at that point. But once you reach late game and the enemy reaches the late game, yeah, you can see like this bonus is huge, but it's definitely not gonna be that great against something like this. Something like Greece have. But let's move on to Norse. So additional bonus damage protection for all military units. This is 15%. And when it's for all military units, when you include the fact that the bowmen have increased multipliers against infantry, this is pretty huge actually. This is pretty huge. And it's definitely gonna work well with something like berserkers. Additional attack rate, construction speed for all infantry units. Again, this is gonna be huge. If I remember, attack rate is 30%. That's actually a lot of damage that your infantry units can do, especially something like berserker with the additional bonus damage protection. Oh boy, those units are just gonna be tough to kill and also will be doing a lot of damage, just that it costs a lot of gold to train one berserker. Oh boy. And the construction speed just helps with the aggression, and you can build your forward bases with your infantry units. No need to bring villagers. And +1 chief build limit. It is nice. It is definitely nice to have one more chief. Would I say I need it? No, but I can split my army into two groups. That might work. I don't know. But yeah, if you want to read all the changes that happened to the champion mode today, that happened, oh boy, there's a lot of these. But about the North one, definitely a strong one for late game, like making your infantry especially really strong units with the addition of one more chief. If you lose one, the other one is still there. Oh boy. Yeah, this is definitely strong as well for late game. But yeah, all the changes, there have been some minor balance changes as well. You can see the Greeks, like Ashland Masonry, giving less health but melee armor. Axemen for Egyptians having more damage, losing 5% damage from their champion upgrade. Elephant archers changes. Oh boy, there's just a lot of stuff. I'm just gonna mention the stone throwers. Like I said, Palinterons are weaker. And just so you know, the stone throwers attack range reduced to 44 from 46, DPS reduced to 49 from 58. Bonus versus buildings increased to 3.75 times from 2.5 times. and bonus versus infantry increased to 3.25 from 2.75 times. So you can see like they lost some damage, but they get it back. Like, look at this damage against buildings. That's 50% more. That's already huge. Then getting some small boost against infantry, which I feel like kind of compensates for this. But even without it, like, look at the damage. It's still pretty huge. And since the attack animation is quite slow, and you can get quite a few stone throwers unless there is some difference in champion mode, but you can definitely get more throwers than Palintorons. And yes, this is the same for the log thrower. You can see it down here. It's pretty huge. If you want to go through all of these changes, read it yourself, because I don't feel like there anything that will be like too significant. Here are the gather rates, so you can see berry bushes go down by 0.15, huntables go down by 0.25, so seriously go for huntables as soon as you can. Herdables go down by 0.2, farms go down by 0.15, wood goes down by 0.2, same gold, same stone, same fish, like it hurts. Fishing boats gather slower by 0.3. Palintoron, you can see their wood and gold costs went down a little bit. DPS reduced to 31 from 58. Bonus versus buildings increased to 7.5 times from 4.0 times. Yeah, that's just a lot of damage to buildings. You can see Silver Age and like what it did for Celts and Egyptians as well. Same for Golden Age. Walls having less health but getting also more armor against melee and pierce. Farms have less health but also build faster, so farms become also better targets to aim at. I mean, getting one farm costs 100 wood, so even when you feel like it's not worth it, you're gonna at least destroy it quite fast. And like 100 wood per farm, that's a lot. That's a lot. Sure, it takes less time to build it, but it's still gonna take time, so destroying those farms can hurt quite a bit. Yeah, all military production now take 35 seconds from 50. 15 seconds, that's just huge. That's like getting free Divine Hammer of construction speed on your villagers like that. And not only that, this actually affects the Norse as well. So if you go with Norse, damn, you're gonna build much faster with your infantry. Okay, technology, religious buildings, armory here, 60 seconds from 50, 250 wood from 200. TC cost 450 wood and stone from 300. Hit points increased by 1000. Fortresses, hit points increased. It's not that significant, but it's gonna help definitely. All ships now have 50% of their original health and deal 50% of their original damage, with the exception of siege ships. Friendly fire removed. Yeah, you wanna read this. It's all here. The bowman, lower base damage, higher bonus against infantry. It's all here. Chariot archetype, this one is just, they attack slower but do more damage, but in the end they do the same damage. So wonder bonus is right here. And yeah, an important note, and this one you should remember, these changes also affect champion mode quests. Okay, but our point of reference for balancing champion mode is specifically 1v1 PvP matches, so further adjustments for those quests will be done on the quests themselves, if necessary. Okay, now I have to warn you, with these wonder changes, beware of quests like, what it's called, Turanian Trouble, where the Persians just have the wonder at the beginning. I don't know if it affects every single AI base, but goddamn, I checked it and it does apply the movement speed, so I am kind of worried about that kind of quest. And with the lower gather rates, it's gonna be harder to reach the Bronze Age, Oh boy, one of the time challenges requires you to build the TC. So I wonder, is it possible with the higher costs and lower? Ooh, I need to check that out. I need to check that out. Definitely got some testing to do. I know before it was possible to do all of them. Now I'm skeptical, and we might see some balance changes to the champion world quest soon enough. We'll see. We'll see how much will happen. But yeah, definitely interesting changes to the champion mode. Definitely the wonders are big ones, ships are big ones, and that everything is slower. Well, I wonder how it affects the PvE champion mode quests. But I'll say I like the idea of like slowing down the game so we can see like more of the Bronze Age actions, Silver Age actions, and it takes long to reach the Golden Age. Or just building the wonder. And if you wonder why they made it, obviously there are developer comments. If you want to read them, go ahead. The link is gonna be in the description for this blog, so make sure to check it out as well. And I guess that's all from me for now. So tell me, what do you like about these changes? What do you think is gonna be really good? And oh boy, what do you really hate about this? I think I hate the fact that it affects the champion mode quest as well. Oh boy. But we'll see, we'll see. We'll see how the PvP matches will look like. Oh boy. Remember, this is just experimental patch. It might not even become like permanent change and just one time thing. Remember, there's also the mini event with the additional coin and experience points rewards for Sparta PvP. So if you wanna start playing the PvP matches right now, I think this is actually a really good time because games are slower. Players will like, even veteran players will be like, what can I actually do right now and what I cannot, because obviously everything's slower, so they cannot be probably that aggressive this early, like making all those dev balls and just sending the units to the slaughterhouse. But we'll see, we'll see. I think raids will be important part of the early game, later with some small skirmishes, and who knows, maybe some late game big fights and making it into the Wanderer somehow. We'll see, definitely. So yeah, like this, share this, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye!